Use your intention, they're saying. So we're going to just start with some breaths. So we'll just take a nice big breath into our heart. Send it out. Take a nice breath in. Feel the space in your chest, creating that space between your mind and in your chest. And breathe it out. And breathe it in. And then acknowledge the frequency of the circuit as it cycles through the cosmos and down to Mother Earth. It cycles through the cosmos and down to Mother Earth. Knowing that the angels are working. We thank the angels. We thank all the angels that are working for our highest good in this moment. We know, we feel you here. We know you are right with us, helping us to be the best versions of ourselves. And you know that that is our intention. As we walk this earth, we want to be ambassadors, if that is the will of the collective. And we have to have a clear knowing and a safe way to progress as we move forward within these different downloads and these different knowings. We send our energy and our love to Mother Earth, deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth, knowing that she accepts all that does not serve us in this moment, and that she will bring us balance. She will bring us strength and courage and resolve as we go about our day and our life. And we send our love and our gratitude to all the non-physical and physical beings that are outside of Mother Earth, that support us for our highest good, that have within them love and light and well-being and the evolution of this beautiful planet to the greatest good. And we know that when we sit with that focus, there is nothing to be afraid of. Ariazakara monyonoko osi ki tatatirikomota anaka kiza katarikomoto otos kitaramoto tikara kiazatatrikototo makata. Arikira komanyana kuzutoro kiara katira katarazikataraka. We ask the angels to balance our chakra system and release anything that does not serve us in this moment. We ask that all energy that is ours across all dimensions, timelines, incarnations, and realms come back to us for our highest good in this moment. And we connect our hearts as one unit, knowing that we are all supported and loved within this time. Azakira kototorma katriki zakatarakomoto or kia tatira kazira katarakomatar kia satara katarakonoso kotoro kotutsikia taka. We will begin with the first question that has already been spoken. As the human begins to open their mind and their belief system and their knowingness and their beingness to the idea that what is before them is not all that is. As you begin to embrace and discern the energies that come through and present themselves to you in many different formats. You are watching your news on your TV, you are watching your YouTube channels, you are listening to the radio and having conversations at the grocery store. You are obtaining information in many, many different ways. And yes, dear ones, it is important to know that all of those ways are being utilized by the benevolent and the non-benevolent forces or collectives. And it is an important aspect for you to understand We do completely understand Kelly's aversion to speaking of anything that she considers not of love and light. We honor that and support her in that. But as you are moving forward in your expansion, there needs to be a bit of caution and empowerment around certain behaviors. We will use that word as we show Kelly the driving her car into a city street. She would not get out of the car without locking it, even though she has a complete and total knowing that all good things are coming to her. That is a very simple example of there are just certain things that will make your journey into this a clearer, more comfortable, and we'll use the word safe, because is it possible for the human to trip and fall into an unsafe experience with different energies? Yes, it is. We know it is not going to be part of Kelly's experience, but it can be part of her knowing, because as we are enjoying the word, the term ambassador, as you and you all are coming out into the world with a kinder conversation at the grocery store with the various people and the various opinions, and you just have a more open, benevolent is a beautiful word, perspective to share in the world, you also can share the knowingness that indeed there is both sides. There is the benevolent and there is the not benevolent. And in the same way that when you walk down that city street, you know you are going to draw to you the people who are of love and light, because that is who you are, that is the life you are creating. When you are walking down a street in the cosmic realm, you're doing the same thing. You are of love and light, you attract the beings of love and light. It is prudence to have a knowing, to have an understanding of other possibilities. And yes, we gave a visual to Kelly recently around that non-benevolent beings can utilize people and situations in your life to cause mischief. And that is what they do. The same way that we bring you nudges, we bring you energy that makes you feel a knowing, a sense of well-being, a sense of love and gratitude and joy. We use those kinds of energies to draw you down the path to the beautiful highest good that is yours for the taking. It is also true that those nudges and impulses can be used in a non-benevolent way. And so your question, dear ones, is how do you know the difference? How do you know the difference? And you know the difference by how it feels. You're going to know the difference by how it feels. You have all experienced that, pushing past your gut. You get the nudge, you have the knowing, I don't feel like I really should go into that store. And yet you still go, oh, I'm being foolish. And you go in. Become more and more sensitive to those nudges. That is how we can guide you and keep you away from any kind of negative experience. It may only be a trip and a fall. It may be a theft. It may be a buying an item that goes to pieces, but learning to navigate with those nudges is where you are in your evolution. This is the practice for today. We will be seeing you on your path, and there are going to be those nudges. And we want you to become very sensitive to them. When you get that little off feeling, follow the breadcrumb away. That's what that nudge is. That is absolutely how it works. So when you ask, do you need to be afraid? Do you need to be afraid of the darker forces that might be around? No, because you are a being of love and light. But can circumstances and situations get going with a momentum that then you get that gut feeling and you don't heed it? That is possible. And that is what we want to bring into your knowing. Now, this is not for you to create this big looking all the time for the next thing that's going to be going wrong. And you know, how does this feel and how does that feel? It is not that so subtle. You all are very aware of the kinds of feelings we're discussing. Do not let the egoic mind play into this with the, oh, well, what about this and what about that? Because there are dozens and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thoughts in the run of a day that are just thoughts. You can settle it into your heart, ask your team to give you clarity, breathe it into your heart, and see how it feels. And follow the nudges and then watch the outcome. And you will begin to see the patterns. Ah, this is why I was over here. This is why the stomach bug hit exactly when it did. That's exactly right. And when you acknowledge that and you see the guidance, then you know. This one is beginning to see so many times the missed phone call. And she doesn't return phone calls anymore because she knows maybe that wasn't going to be a pleasant phone call. So she lets whatever upset might be going on in whoever's experience pass down the road. And then the next time she talks with that person, they were like, oh, yes, this has happened to her many times recently. They had the worst thing happen, and I called you to tell you, but you missed the call and you didn't get to hear it. Isn't that right? That's exactly right. She didn't have to hear it because it's not part of her life anymore. She doesn't need to hear everybody's upsets anymore. That is how it works. That is how you navigate your life on a day-to-day basis, whether you are understanding that there are any other beings involved at all. Take that right completely out of the whole equation and ask yourself, how do you navigate your life? You navigate your life by how it feels. Click. This feels better. Click. This feels better. These are the timeline changes we are talking to you about. This is the establishing your frequency that we're talking about. It's all the same thing, dear ones. It's all the same thing. And now you're just starting to see that there's just a few more players. That's all this is nothing to be concerned about. And in the same way that you would tuck your purse under your arm, you not leave it laying in your cart when you walk away. It's that simple and that gentle and that easy. So we would ask if you have another question.